Today I'm using some gifts from nature to make rustic wall art. These are very affordable to make and anyone can do this. Thanks for joining me, my friends. Let's get started. For this first one, I'm using a 12 by 12 canvas that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to give this a base coat of Country Chic chalk paint in the color Vanilla Frosting. I want to make sure I have some good coverage on this for the next step. I'll be blending two colors, wet on wet, so I want to make sure that I don't worry about the coverage on this while doing that step. There will be a list of everything I used in today's video down below in the description box. I've got this light tan color called Oyster Beige, added a little bit of water to it. I have that on my plate ready to go, so I'm going to grab that initial paint that I used for the base coat and just spread this on somewhat liberally, so that I have enough time to grab some of that tan and start blending that in. I want it to have these nice horizontal streaks of the two colors. I will keep going back and forth between the two colors until I get the look that I like. I'm using two different brushes so that I can keep the mixture of the two colors only on the tan one. That way I am not dipping this brush into that paint with the brown paint on it. I'm using the IOD stamp Fruitful Harvest. I'm going to take that pumpkin and lay it on my canvas and just trace around it. I just need a basic pumpkin shape. I'm not actually going to stamp with that one. Now I'm going to take the three leaves I chose, ink them up with archival ink in the color Pebble Beach, and just apply these randomly around the canvas. With that done, I'm going to seal this up with the Decor Ultra Matte Sealer. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did do that blending technique around the edges of the canvas as well. I traced that pumpkin onto a piece of just regular copy paper so that I could cut that out and use that as a template to cut down the size of my sticks. I kind of want these to graduate, from smaller to bigger in the middle, smaller on the outside. So I've just got the miter shears and I'm just kind of eyeballing it, laying the stick down, seeing about where I need to trim it, and I'm just going to keep doing that until this piece is all filled in. Then I can go ahead and set these aside in the order that they go onto the pumpkin. To apply these, I'm going to use some gel medium. It's matte and it dries clear. I'm going to scoop this out and fill in that entire pumpkin area, doing a fairly thick coat because these sticks aren't all perfectly flat, so I need to have something to kind of embed them down into. And this ended up working really well. So I'm just going to spread that out till the whole pumpkin area is covered, and then I will start laying down my sticks. And it gives you lots of working time to make sure you have them in the position you want. So this is just a real easy way to do this, and it does take a while to dry, but this way you can manipulate it for quite a bit before you make your final decision about how you want them to lay down. Once I had all those in place, I took some little tiny skinny pieces just to drop in to fill in some of those larger gaps. For For the stem, I just took 3 smaller ones and put those in place on top, and then I did put another piece across the top of those. Now I'm going to crunch up some dried leaves, just like I did in my previous video for the base for my little scarecrow. Just kind of mince these up a little bit, and then I will brush some Mod Podge onto the sticks. Pretty good size coat here so that it has something for the leaves to stick to. I'm going to just sprinkle those on, tap them down with my fingers. I put it on pretty thick and they don't all stay on, and that's why I did that. I just want to try and get a decent amount of coverage with these. It adds a nice little rustic pop of color. Going to tap off all that excess and then use a brush to help scrape off any loose pieces. After that, I gave it a coat of my matte clear spray sealer. I've got some paper covered wire that I'm just going to wrap around this pencil, trim it off. I'm going to do this twice so I can add those to the top section where the stem is. And I'll use the Beacon 3-in-1 craft glue to attach these. I made a real simple bow with just 2 pieces of jute twine. I'm going to add that onto the base of the stem. I felt like those edges needed to be framed in a little better, so I grabbed that archival ink that I did with the leaves and added that around the edges. For this one, I'm using a piece of wall art that I thrifted. It's got glass on the front. You can't take that out, but I think I can pop off this back to make this into what I want to make it into. So I was able to use a little, like a putty knife, and just kind of wedge that down in there and pop that out. It did leave behind the nails that were holding it, but I was able to use some wire cutters to snip those off so that they're flush so that I can get this back in place when I'm done with it. The design inside of this was just like some type of paper or something that was on there, but it was stuck down really well, so I wasn't going to attempt to remove it. Instead, I'm giving it a base coat of my acrylics gesso, and then I'm going to cover this with Fusion's Chateau. My plan was to use this nice neutral color as a base and then go in and use some stamps on it, but that did not turn out well, so I'm going to show you what happened and what I ended up doing. Next on this frame, I'm going to leave it as is with the exception of I'm sanding off some of that white. I felt like it was just a little heavier than I liked it in those grooves. So I'm just going to remove some of it while leaving some of it behind. So the stamp I wanted to use was this one from IOD, Orleans. That was in their, was it the summer release, I believe? So I inked up most of that. I didn't need the very edges done, but I went ahead and, laid that in place and pressed it down really well. And I have that cutting board there because my tabletop with the silicone mat and everything isn't perfectly flat. So I thought I would get a good impression because I usually do, but it did not come out at all. I painted over it and tried it again on a different table, and the result wasn't much better. I got a little bit more on there, but it still didn't look good. So I painted over that until I could figure out what I wanted to do. I came across this piece of scrap paper that I just I just absolutely love it. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a good fix here. So I'm tracing around that board to get a general idea of the size I need. And then I have to trim it down a little bit more so that it fits just shy of the edges so that I can have a space to still fit that back in. I'm using some Elmers adhesive to attach the scrapbook paper to the board. I use the spray adhesive because I felt like I wouldn't get all the wrinkling and stuff you might get with a liquid adhesive like Mod Podge. So on the back side, I wanted it to look nice and fresh. I primed it with just gray primer and then gave it a coat of the Fusion Chateau. I didn't like the brush mark, so I did another coat with a sponge dauber. And you can see that that leaves a nice little bumpy texture on there, which makes it more interesting. I have 3 large maple leaves that I preserved with Mod Podge a couple of years ago, and they're somewhat flexible, but they still break if you tweak them too much. But I had the one really big one and then 2 that are a little bit smaller. And you can also, when you get these leaves, you can use just a spray clear coat, and that'll keep them from getting all dried out and crumbly. I'm using Stays-On ink in Timber Brown and a little sponge applicator to go around the edges just to give that some more definition. And I did have to be really careful with that. If you press too hard, it will snap off those little edges. I'm using that 3-in-1 glue again to glue the leaf down. I'm not going to put this all over the leaf. I'm kind of concentrating it at the bottom and middle section I want it to still kind of lift up at the top. It has a natural curve to it where the stem and the top kind of lift up, and I wanted to maintain that so that it's not just flat on that board. This is a little piece of ephemera from the Tim Holtz number strips. I'm going to use the Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo to age this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down there towards the bottom right. And then I'm going to give that glass a real thorough cleaning on the inside and use the 3-in-1 glue to spread a bead just around that lip and attach the board. I hope these 2 projects today have gotten you inspired for some natural and rustic fall decor to make for your home. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.